When it comes to stopping drinking alcohol, so many of us fail, right? So many people fail on their journey to removing alcohol from their life. And the reason why is because they make mistakes. Now, at this point, I've worked with multiple hundreds of people now, helping them get control of their drinking in a coaching program. I've made 400 YouTube videos. I've not drank for 4 years myself. There is like one mistake that I see people make that if they get their head around this, just life's going to be so much easier, right? There's going to be less fighting. There's going to be less turmoil externally and internally. And if you don't make this mistake, I can guarantee you with 1000% certainty that your journey will be so much better. So let's unpack it. So the journey starts with an individual that stops drinking alcohol. They make a decision that enough is enough. This is no longer serving me. I don't want this in my life anymore. It's gone. And then what they do after that is they start to kind of question that decision. So maybe they, get in touch with an old drinking buddy. And they say to the drinking buddy, Dave, I've said, I'm going to pack it in. Like, I've had enough of drinking. I don't really want to do it anymore. And this is an old drinking friend. And the drinking friend turns around and says, what are you talking about? You want to stop drinking? Like, what are you on about? And you're like, yeah, I want to stop. What do you think? I mean, why would you even want to stop? We hang out all the time. We have a great time together. Why would you want to do that? And then what happens is that individual starts questioning their decision to be a non-drinker. They start to doubt if what they're doing is right. Now, here's the mistake. The mistake was having that conversation in the first place. Let me explain. What I recommend that you do is not to tell a single person about your decision to not drink alcohol. Now, obviously, there are going to be exceptions. If you've got a really close partner and you two are doing this together, then yeah, I'm sure there's exceptions. But telling like friends, telling other family members, telling old drinking buddies, my recommendation is to say nothing. Here's why. If you go and tell somebody that you used to drink with, or anybody that drinks alcohol for that matter, that you're thinking of stopping drinking alcohol, they're not going to tell you something that benefits you. What do I mean by this? Well, when you ask somebody, what do you think about X, Y, Z? What they start telling you is what's important to them. So if you tell somebody that drinks alcohol and alcohol is important to them, it's part of their identity and they don't want to let go of it, their reaction has actually got nothing to do with your decision to not drink. It's got everything to do with them. Now, when we're early on in our journey, I don't like the word vulnerable, but I suppose that some people are vulnerable at the beginning of their journey to not drink, right? So if somebody starts to kind of question your decision to not drink and you're not 100% strong and you've not kind of gone through this multiple times, it can be quite hard to deal with. Like, I'll give you another example. Now, I remember when I was like in my early 20s and, I was very skinny when I was in my teens and I put some muscle on. I got to the gym, I ate a lot of food, I did a lot of weightlifting, put on some muscle. And I decided, at like early 20s that one day I'll be a personal trainer. And I remember telling somebody very close to me, I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I remember telling this person very close to me that I want to be a personal trainer. And they turned around and they looked at me like, but people don't buy personal training. You should get a job. Like, just get a job. And it stuck with me. I'm not going to lie, it hurt. I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. But that person wasn't actually giving me information that was important to me. What that person was actually saying is having a job and having stability is important to me. Therefore, that's what you should do. And it's really hard to be able to separate like the message from the messenger like that. But this happens when we start telling people that we're going to stop drinking. We start to get this feedback, which is not particularly useful because people are going to give you advice on what they think is important to them. I hope this is making sense. What's important to somebody that drinks alcohol and that you've drank with for many years is that you keep drinking. Now, I'm not saying this is, black and white. This is going to happen to every single person because there are probably people in your life that want you to stop drinking because they want to see you do well, right? They're your friend and they support you, or their family and they support you. But I would just encourage you, that first few weeks is to really say nothing to anybody. Let them ask. Instead of telling people what you're doing, show them. Right? You don't need to say anything. And if you're anything like me, you've probably made many false promises before. You've told people, yeah, I'm not going to drink, and then you've gone back on your word. And what you don't want to do is you don't want people like undermining you and saying, oh, here we go again, blah, blah, blah. And that is the big mistake, right? It's telling people before you are 100% all in, know that you're never going to go back. But once you're there, then sure, open up. If you click the video on the screen now, you can learn 3 secrets to getting control of your drinking.